Modern urban spaces, parks, beautiful private gardens, sports facilities, green roofs and facades, all the work of landscape gardeners. It's a green and resurgent profession. Landscape gardeners shape tomorrow's world. Their materials, trees, concrete and natural stone, wood and flowers. At the heart of what they do, shaping and protecting the environment. Landscape gardeners create green oases. Discover your dream, a profession that's fun, crisis-proof and well-paid, and which offers all sorts of opportunities for further training. A career with a future. Gardening and landscaping is teamwork. Even during training, it's all about cooperation. Major projects like this one are put together from scratch. Machinery helps, and above all, good colleagues. Many tasks can only be mastered together, and the team works seamlessly. You're not left on your own here. An interest in nature and technology will set you up well for this 3-year training course to become a landscape gardener. It's a choice leading to a career that offers no end of variety. The climate's great, it's really fun, we're always having a laugh, but we work together too. And it's great to come to the yard here and see what we've achieved together. And the best thing is, every day you see the results of your work. Anybody choosing this career should be open to subjects like biology, the natural world and horticulture. Landscape gardeners make a vital contribution to the protection of the environment, turning the world from grey to green. You come and get this piece of land and you build a park in it. From the beginning you see it grow together, piece by piece. How we treat the natural world has become very important. Landscape gardeners understand ecological context, and that's why their jobs have a future. From the largest tree to the smallest shrub, you have a very wide choice, and the variety of that plant life is really interesting. And once you know what you're doing and how to implement your knowledge, you can start designing the garden differently for each season. It's great. And you can learn all that on a 3-year training course in a company, in training college, or like here at a cross-company training facility. You can implement your new knowledge straight away on a training area that's been designed just for practice purposes. At the cross-company training sites, which you'll find across Germany, trainees live and work together for several days at a time and study in a relaxed situation as a group. Along with horticulture, they learn how to use a chainsaw, how to create a pond, paving and bricklaying. Landscape architects work with delicate plants and heavy machinery. They shape nature using cutting-edge technology. Machines help them in their work, and it feels good to be able to control them. You don't have to be a giant, and that's why it's a career that girls are increasingly opting for. It's difficult to imagine a woman driving a truck, but today it's not an issue anymore. And it's not unthinkable to have a woman driving a digger or digging trenches. During the training course, you learn how to operate big machines, and women are just as good as men at it. Master craftsmen, trainers and colleagues are there to advise and assist. Or sit in the digger and dig trenches. It's fun to use all this technology. For example, you learn to drive sit-on-top mowers for large sporting facilities, a special area in gardening and landscape architecture. Strength is not something you need very often in this job. Normally, it's more about the right technique, and you learn that in the training course. It's not long before you get your own taste of success. One key aspect is knowing how to work and use stone. Because a green space doesn't become a garden or park without paths, squares, or sitting areas. It's a great profession, full of variety and change. The trainee experts for gardening and landscaping quickly learn to cope with all the materials they'll need, be that wood, concrete, or stone. I come to the building site every day without knowing what I'm going to be doing, whether I'm going to be laying tiles or making a pond. It's very varied and never boring. The ideal way to get into the profession is by doing an internship, whether you finish school at 16 or 18. Anybody open to nature and technology is on the right path. He's also heading in the right direction with paving stones and receiving help and advice. After all, everybody has to start somewhere. And then your first achievement, a beautiful garden path that will last a long time. The highs and lows of landscape gardening. Before the layout work and planting comes the planning. The training includes horticulture as well as technology and maths to make sure you can see the big picture as you design your garden. The contour data is used to create a comprehensive project plan. There's more information on the comprehensive Algala DVD. The plan that's been drawn up is well received and then implemented. And designing is such a pleasure, using plants, earth and stones. But this is just practice. It has to work in reality as well. You come up with solutions. You don't know ahead of time, but it just happens. And of course, the tutors are here too. You can ask them for advice if you get stuck. Real life, interpreting plans and applying them to the building site. In this job, it's what you do every day. It's a responsible and interesting challenge. Landscape gardeners are sporty and active. Their gym is nature. They work outside, and so they stay fit naturally. What I like about this job is that you spend a lot of time in the outdoors, in the fresh air. Landscape gardeners are the first people to be tempted outdoors and are the last to retire for their winter nap. Landscape gardeners aren't afraid of the light or the weather. They are waterproof, sun, rain and wind. Every type of weather is a challenge. With landscape gardening and architecture, you can see your own garden grow. Most of the small and medium-sized companies in the sector are also building companies. And plants are an important building material. Landscape gardeners constantly see the results of their work and can be proud of what they've achieved every day. Just as varied and interesting as the building materials are their human interactions. And the ability to get on as a team is just as important as having a good relationship to landscape architects and clients. Once your training course is finished, you can put your skills into practice. as a landscape gardener, a foreman or building site manager. Or you can continue your training as an expert in agrarian economy, a farm technician or a master craftsman. And if you want to continue, you can study or expand your qualifications by opting for a posting overseas. I'd like to stay in the company. I like the people and I like the work. My parents would like me to study architecture once I finish my training course, but if I like it, I'll continue here.
Wenn mir der Beruf gefällt, dann mache ich halt einfach weiter.
I'd like to become a master technician, so work for 2 years as an apprentice and then go to technical college. I'd like to continue working in this profession until I retire. When I finish my training, I'll probably go and work for my parents' company and maybe become a master craftsman or master technician as well. Either become a technician or study. Maybe I'll be self-employed. There are many possibilities. There are more than 16,000 landscape gardening companies in Germany. They have a combined turnover of about 6 billion euros. A crisis-proof profession for the hands-on, for imaginative planners, and for environmentalists. For private customers, industry and business, they create urban spaces, landscape parks, green roofs, gardens, and sporting facilities. Gardeners and landscapers are expert at shaping tomorrow's world. A green, diverse world in which we can feel at home. And the green sector is growing. Young landscape gardeners are in more demand than ever. Young people with practical skills and creativity, but also with technical understanding. A future-oriented profession for young women and men who can turn spaces into the places of their dreams. And that is a very fine prospect.